Hey, it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio, and today we're going to take a look at creating fills in between major chords. Now, every rhythm player gets to a point where they want to add more to their playing rather than just playing rhythm, so we're going to look here at actually how to create some phrases in between two different major chords. We're going to use C and we're going to use G, okay? So really common stuff here. And I'm going to give you a general area that you can play with that helps you work on creating your own phrases. So this is just an example phrase, but I urge you to try to make your own stuff up as well. So once you learn this piece here, take the ideas I'm going to talk about and try to make your own things up using your own ears. So try to make phrases up that might sound good to you. Grab other notes that I might not be showing here. And really anything will go as long as it sounds good to you. But I'm going to give you a starting point so you know where to begin, okay? So I started off in the example with a bar chord, C chord, okay? So the 3rd fret, string number 5, and the 5th fret on string number 4, 3, and 2. You can do it like that. You can also do it as an open chord. So if you want to do an open chord and that's what you're comfortable with, that's totally fine. I'm doing the bar chord, okay? And the G chord, same thing. I'm using the G chord as a bar on the 3rd fret, index finger, ring and pinky on the 5th fret of string number 5 and 4, middle finger on the 4th fret of string 3. That's our G, but you can use an open chord too, and I'll demonstrate it in both ways. So on the C chord, what I'm doing here is I'm actually using the C major pentatonic scale to create some phrases, or to create a phrase in between. And this is a common place you'll see a lot of guitar players, including Hendrix, or anyone using his ideas. Let's sort of jump into this little double stop area here, which is part of the C major pentatonic. So the C major pentatonic, we'll start on the 3rd fret of string number 5. We're going to play 5th fret and then go to 7. Okay, so we're going to move across the string and do an extended pattern here. 3, 5, 7. Now to finish off the pattern, we have 5, 7 on the D string, and that gives us like 1 octave. But if you want to extend it, we're going to go 5, 7, 9 on string number 3. Okay? Now I'm adding notes in here that sort of go outside of just using the pentatonic. So if you're playing with this box, this works really well. And this is, I'll give you an example to further extend that. So 3, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10, 12. And that gives us a full extended shape, right? So a lot of times you can make phrases. So within that kind of shape here, we get some really cool double stop ideas. Now the phrase I made here, I added 1 note in. Okay, so the note that I'm adding in is from the C major scale. But like I said, use your ear and see what you find. So the reason why I added that note is because as I was making this phrase up, it sounded good. And I use the major scale a lot, as opposed to just using only the pentatonic. But you can stick to pentatonic phrases, that'll work perfectly fine. So my rhythm is a down, up on the C chord. So the first down is actually a dotted 8th note, so it lasts for 3 16th notes or an 8th note and a half. And so if you looked at the up strum there, that's a 16th note. Okay, so we're going to do a down, up, or on the C chord. And then I'm going to play the 5th fret on string number 5, slide to 7, 5, 7 on string number 4, and I'm sliding up to the 9th fret. Now this is the major 7th over the C major chord. So it gives us like a lighter sound. You could totally just go to this note here if you wanted to, okay? Like I said, this is really open-ended in terms of what you can do with it. And I'm going to go to the high note here, the D note. Okay, so fret number 7 on the 3rd string. Then we're going to play 9, 7 to 5. And I'm doing a slide there. Then I'm finishing off on the 7th fret of string number 5. So like, I said, you could use just a major pentatonic. You could do something like that, or you slide up, or. But the next phrase I use is going to be pretty much what we talked about there, and that's basically the major pentatonic that we're looking at from this vantage point. Okay, so here, that's the major 7th as a phrase, but play around with it, get your ideas going. So the phrase that I did, or the progression I did that twice. Then I went to the G chord, and what I did here is I used the major pentatonic, the G major. So I took the same exact approach, but this time I stuck to the major pentatonic. So we start with the G, slide from 5 to 7 on the 6th string, 5-7 on the A string, and then 5-7 on the D string. Then 7-5 on the A and 7 on the low E. Okay, so that's full G major pentatonic. It works really nicely. The C, that note outside of it, using the major 7th, gives it a lighter sound, okay? But the cool thing on both of these chords, when we finish the phrase, we end up on the major 3rd of the chord. So that note sounds good on the chord. All right. Now, like I said, play around with this. A really cool song that uses this concept in a way with the riff is My Girl, classic Smokey Robinson tune. So get that kind of riff going, right? And so they just use the major pentatonic. They're not playing the chord at the same time, but that gives you an idea of where that riff comes from. And they move to F. Right, sort of a fun riff in there. But the way I did it here is I changed one of the notes. And here's the major pentatonic. Alright, so if you dig into the major pentatonic, C major, G major is like this. It's a little different pattern, right? And you can look at the notes I'm using the G. I use that note that I was using as well, the B note, okay? And that's the note that I used in the C major chord. So you can sort of see the similarities. Those two scales work really well going back and forth here. And you can look at it like this is from the key of C major, like C and G being chord 1 and chord 5, or we can be in the key of G major, chord 4, and chord 1. So you can sort of play with that and get an idea of which scale you want to use, what sounds the best to you. And then again, I'll play from the start. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I'll try to play it as slow as possible with the open chords, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're already speeding up, I know. Not as quite as slow as I wanted to do there, but you can always slow it down with the YouTube settings, okay? So click on that, click on 0.75 or 0.5, try to listen to it at a slower pace. Works with both open chords and bar chords, whatever way works for you. So keep an open mind here, try to change notes out, even take my phrase that I wrote there, add different notes, swap them out, do whatever's gonna work for you. Even work on this stuff where it doesn't fit fully in time, so you can sort of make phrases up where you're not trying to play in time right away. And just sort of get an idea of what sounds good over the chords. And so the more you practice that, the more you get used to the notes that fit within each chord type. Today we just did major, but if you work on minor, all these other chords, you can even just use your ear and not be so focused on the scale to try to hear what will sound good. So what kind of fills would sound good in between the chords. So it can get very, very confusing and technical if you think always about the scale and what scale will be perfect. And like I was showing you there, I can jump outside the major pentatonic, add other notes in that I like the feel of, to change the sound, to change the feel of the riff, right? So I could have stuck to just major pentatonic and that would work fine. But it can also be fun to explore other notes that are there that maybe even don't even know what scale it's from, and that's totally fine. The good thing is that when you make this stuff up, try to figure out later on what scale you did use, and that can help you learn and figure out what works for you, okay? So enjoy that. I hope you have some fun playing with this riff, making your own stuff up. If you make something yourself, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this each week, and I hope you have a great one.